So it's one of those days where we are checking out a new car. We've got the Kia Carens. We've actually got both the variants here. So we've got a 1.5 litre CRDI, which is a top trim for there's only one diesel engine. And then there are two petrol engines. We've got the 1.4 litre turbo petrol. There's also a 1.5 litre petrol engine. So the turbo petrol actually makes 140 horsepower along with upwards of 240 Newton meters of torque, whereas the diesel engine makes 115 horsepower along with 250 Newton meters of torque. Now we've driven both these cars and they're actually really comfortable. I do prefer the petrol turbo because it does come with a dual clutch transmission, which is extremely responsive and it switches gears really quickly. The diesel does have a standard automatic transmission, and we'll talk more about that a little later. Let's look at the styling on the outside and then look at the interiors as well. So let's talk about the design of the car. On the front you can see we have the DRL over here and LED lamps as standard on all variants of the car. You can see the front has this really nice bar that goes across. I wish this was a light bar, but this is actually a chrome accent bar, and you also have this sort of patterned design in the front, and then you also have this chrome accent on the bottom here as well, just in the number plate area, and the grille is over here, so it allows more air to go into the engine bay. So these are the 16-inch wheels. You'll get them in the diesel variant as well as the turbo petrol variant. The normal petrol variant will come with 15-inch wheels as standard. You can see the doors are quite large and the rear door also is quite large. You do get captain seats in the diesel variant. So you can see lots of space here in the rear seat, and there's lots of headroom as well. We'll go on the inside and show you that. So you can see on the rear you get a rear wiper over here, and the rear glass is heated. A new design for the back along with a rear bumper, which makes it look like the exhaust pipes are over there, but actually the exhaust pipes point downwards. So this gives you a look of a slightly sportier car with this chrome accent. New style logo on the back here. The tailgate is not electronic, so this is a hydraulic tailgate. You can see we have lots of stuff here. Pop these down, so you get a lot of space over here, and then you do have some underfloor storage in the back as well. So some basic things can be hidden here. You can possibly put in your laptop or whatever. In the third row, you can see you do have cup holders along with maybe smartphone holders in the back, and then you also do have a USB-C charging points for all seats, which is great. So both the engine bays are quite similar. We'll show you the diesel one as well. So this is the turbo GDI, this is the turbo petrol. You have good clear access to your washer fluid, your coolant, as well as your brake fluid here as well. You also have the battery over here and the fuse box. So basic servicing of the car is actually quite easy. Your air filter and all can also be easily accessed. Everything is right here, and there's a lot of space in the engine bay to work on the car if you so decide to do that. So exact same placement here as well. So you have the washer fluid, coolant, as well as the brake fluid here, and then you do have the battery here as well as the fuse box over here, same air box. So the interior looks really nice in the new Kia Carens. You can see that you have a 10.25-inch touchscreen over here. It's really responsive, very light touch, and it responds really well. You also get a full-fledged navigation here as well, and very good with pinching in, zooming out. All of that works really well. Also, you have this remote feature. Again, you can control a lot of the functions of the car, even set the climate settings and also the seat settings, the air purifier, and all of your features can be easily accessed from here. You can also look at the current status of the car, what your range is, what the air purifier's filter level is, and the status of, again, the climate control and the locking system as well. You can also go into vehicle management and look at the vehicle health report, and also look at the location of the car on a map, and then also find things around you, and then have the navigation system automatically updated from your phone so that you don't have to go into the navigation system and update things. So pretty cool features for the kind of category of car this is. You get all the smart connected features right here on the mobile app. You do have the ability to connect Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto, but those are wired through the USB ports over here at the bottom. The vents are also integrated into the dash, so that looks nice. You have this line running through. and it goes across the dashboard, and both the front vents as well as the side vents are integrated into this. So just above this vent, you can see that there is a cup holder here for the passenger as well. So you can sort of hold cans or drinks or whatever. And then you do have this port over here that will allow you to connect a perfume. So there's a little bit of air coming through. So if you want to install a car perfume, this is the perfect spot to do that. And over here, you do have wireless charging. So if your phone supports it, you can simply place it on the mat and you can get wireless charging. And this is big enough to hold large phones as well. So if you do have a larger phone, you can just simply place it and get wireless charging in that as well. You can see you have USB ports for connecting to CarPlay as well as Android Auto. And then you can also charge devices from this. You also have a USB Type-C over here. Front seats are ventilated. You can turn on ventilation by pressing these buttons. And then you have certain other controls, including turning on the rear camera as well as parking controls over here. And then you do have drive mode selector buttons, so you can switch between eco, normal and sport. For the rear view camera, you do get this really nice split view, so you can continue to get your maps as well as the rear view camera. Then you do have certain settings for the camera, so you can turn those on from here as well. You do have your climate control over here. You do have auto climate control as well as the ability to customize everything, while you do have physical buttons for the fan as well as the temperature settings, and these are basically knobs that you can push up or pull down. All of the buttons here are touch buttons, so they're a little finicky. There's no tactile response, but there is an audible beep. So every time you press something, you do hear what you want. On the front, you do have two cup holders. These are cooled cup holders. You can adjust the cooling from here. But if you do have cans like this, they will toggle around. There's nothing to grab onto the cans, so they will make a little bit of noise if you just leave them in the front of the cup holder. So you can see we have dual tone interiors. The steering wheel does come in this nice blue color. It appears to be leather wrapped. It could be leatherette. This part is plastic, and all of this part is also plastic. So it is painted plastic. So while it looks nice, it's still plastic. The steering wheel itself is tilting as well as telescopic. Not a lot of reach in this, but for most people, this will be comfortable to drive on. You do have paddle shifters in the automatic variant of the diesel car, as well as the turbo petrol will have paddle shifters here as well. Multifunction steering wheel, you do have cruise control over here, and then you can also switch between various modes on the front. And if you do turn on your drive modes, they're also displayed in the front, which is a digital cluster. It's not a full screen, so you can't get a lot of information on there, but you do have your speedo and your RPM, which is fixed. And then the middle screen can be changed between tire pressure warning. In fact, our tires are showing a low warning, even though the tire pressure is at a safe 30 psi. The door bins are extremely spacious. You can have a bunch of drinks over here in case you're going on a long road trip. And there's also a umbrella pocket. So if you do have an umbrella, you can sort of squeeze it through there. We don't have an umbrella, so the bottle is our umbrella. The car also has a Bose speaker system, so you can see the Bose branding here on the door speaker. The rear seats, the split seats, do have a single button tumble roll, and this is electronic, so it sort of moves out of your way and you can sort of walk in to the third row, and then you can just simply push this back and lift this up to its standard position. And you do also have an armrest over here. So with the front seat in my driving position, there's still an ample amount of space in the back seat, and there's also enough headroom above the passenger behind me. These seats are actually quite comfortable, and despite the air purifier on this seat, there's enough space. If you want slightly more space, you should move to the other side, which does not have the air purifier. The third row as well has a lot of space for an adult as well. There's enough headroom. There are also charging points on each side. And then legroom is also helped by the fact that there is a tunnel in the center between the two seats. So at least one leg can go over there. And this is at the last position as far as the seat position goes. So this middle seat can be moved forward as well. So one thing I really enjoy in the Kia Carens while driving is that the suspension is really comfortable. It's tight enough to go over potholes, but also comfortable enough that you don't feel them as much. So going through potholes, the suspension manages to handle itself even while turning quite well, and that is enjoyable. So they've taken care of all of those things. We are in the turbo petrol right now, and it is surprisingly responsive. You do have a lot of torque available to get go, and petrol variants, I personally prefer this one over the diesel as well. It seems to have a much smoother shifting as well because it does have a dual clutch transmission. You do have this sports mode, which does give you faster shifts and a lot of torque on the upper end. So you do get a louder sounding engine because you're always keeping in the high torque range, and then you do get tighter shifts as well. So it does give you a little bit more oomph when you're driving. And the same amount of torque is available in both the dual clutch as well as the standard automatic transmission that is available on the CRDI variant as well. I do enjoy the instant response that you do get from the turbo petrol, but the diesel engine is no slouch either. The same hill that we went up in the diesel engine, the petrol didn't struggle at all. So if you're somebody who's going to be driving more in the mountains or in the hills, I would definitely recommend the turbo petrol. So if you think about the Hyundai Alcazar and then you think about the Kia Carens, they're actually quite similar with respect to the size, the form factor, the feature set. And you have to appreciate the good quality of the interiors that you get in these cars. And a lot of luxury is available to boot. So you get into the car and it feels really plush, it feels really premium. Granted, there are some misses with a lot of plastic, but that's where the price savings go into, but they've managed to make it look premium by doing the dual tone finish. The seats are extremely comfortable and you can enjoy long drives on these. The ventilated seats, always appreciated, not in this weather, but most of the year they are appreciated. I would have also liked to see heated seats. It's something that I usually complain about. There are usually heated seats but not ventilated seats. Kia has done the opposite. They've given you ventilated seats but not heated seats. Either way, overall it's a fantastic package, and if you're a family of 4 or more, this can be a compelling offering, especially if you do have young kids in the house, because the third row is actually quite usable. Overall, a pretty comfortable ride, and also gives you another option in this price segment. In the 20 lakh rupee price segment, there weren't a lot of cars about a few years ago, but now you do have a few comfortable options in this price bracket. So that was a quick look at the new Kia Carens. Like I said, we checked out both the variants, the diesel as well as the petrol turbo. If you guys want us to do a full review, don't forget to smash a like on this video and leave a comment telling us to do a full review, because that will help the YouTube algorithm as well as this video go forward, and we will be able to make more such videos for you, including a review of the Kia Carens, and also let us know which variant specifically you want us to review. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button along with the bell notification icon set to all notifications so that you get all our notifications. And I'll see you in the next one. This has been Bharat.